This podcast is brought to you by Clarizen. They're the leader in enterprise project and portfolio management. Visit clarizen.com to learn more. So welcome to today's videocast, where Kelly and I give our 5 cents on all things digital project management. Today, we are going to talk about issue management. And we're going to talk about one thing in particular, and that is how we manage project delays. How do you communicate and keep the team engaged even though a deadline has passed? Now, this is a question that has come up from our Slack team, and this is a tricky situation. There's a big issue here that we need to manage. Keeping the team engaged, keeping the client engaged. How do you kind of keep the wheels on the train when things have kind of already fallen off? Kelly, any tips that you can share?
Yes, absolutely. I think that no news is good news is not something to stand by here. I think with delays, that's something you have to dig for in order to identify. So I think that you need to make sure that either from your department leads or from the teammates themselves, you need to be finding out temperature checks on how they're feeling about all the deliverables and then getting ahead of that conversation. Now, with delayed conversations with clients, I never come at them with just information that it's going to be delayed. I give them an option. So more times than not, you're going to have an option to not delay. It's just going to take away something else like scope or functionality or what have you, fill in the blank. So I like to give that option up to the client and say, okay, it's looking like this is running behind. What that means, and this is why, come up with a why, let them know, keep them informed. This is why this is happening. And we can either delay it so that it's done right and all of the scope is included, and this is when it's going to be delayed until, and this is what that means for all the other pieces. Or we can, launch on time, the delay doesn't happen, but 4 of your blog posts aren't going to go out. You're not going to have that separate e-newsletter sign up, whatever that scope is. So make sure you work with the team to come up with the different options so they don't feel like they're being cornered and just the bad news is laid out in front of them. It's really good to let them kind of decide what that's going to look like for them and give them time to decide. Don't demand that decision right away, but include whatever context you're able to make them feel like it's not something you're cornering them on.
Yeah, and I think that the tricky thing that this question came up from our Slack team, and I think the tricky thing when a deadline comes and then goes, keeping the team engaged and still caring about the project is a tricky thing to do. But I think what you're talking about in terms of, hey, let's give the client some options, let them choose what gets prioritized and what's not. But then I think also one way that we can get the team still engaged is to say, hey, look, team, the deadline has now passed. The client has now prioritized this. Let's all just focus on this and get this out the door. But I think the key to this, and I think this is kind of the same to whenever we're managing something that's kind of going wrong or that we're trying to get back on track, is we want to get some early momentum. We want the team to feel like there's some wins to be had here. So I think in that kind of backlog and that prioritization that we're doing, we want the team to pick something out from that backlog that they can achieve. And I think what's important is that once a deadline's passed, you want to get the momentum going again. So we want to release something really quickly, and then we want to release something again, and maybe like have a schedule of every 2 days, there's a release. And it's small releases, it's incremental improvements, but the client is seeing something is different and changing and progress is happening. And the team is getting motivated again because they're feeling like, hey, we're actually making some progress here. So communication is massive around all of this, kind of managing expectations, making sure everyone feels like they know what's going on. But I think what's so important in managing the issue, in managing the team through that, is that momentum. It's the team feeling like, hey, we're on a winning team here and we're going to get through this. If we give them a massive ticket and it's like a 2-week ticket, it's going to slow everything down and everyone's going to be like, oh, well, we're already late, I don't care. So think about how is it that you can win small and get that momentum going again. So I hope that helps in you thinking about how you deal with issues and issue management, particularly around project delays. But if you've got something to contribute to the conversation, head to thedigitalprojectmanager.com/Slack and join the conversation there, where we've got thousands of project managers talking about issues just like this every day. But until next time, thanks for watching.